The clash between the executive and judiciary that has continued in the country for quite some time now was evident yet again as the Supreme Court stalled the citizenship bill authenticated by the President last Wednesday. The issue of the authentication of the citizenship bill also disrupted the House proceedings for the entire day yesterday as the opposition parties demanded a withdrawal of the much-debated bill, while the Apex Court move has also raised quite a few questions to deal with on judicial and executive front. Good morning, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. The Prime Minister calls on the House Speaker on a bid to clear obstructions at the Parliament. The pre-detention trial of the alleged culprits of the Bhutanese refugee scam continues. It's World Environment Day today, the day being celebrated across the country with a campaign to eliminate the use of plastic products and using eco-friendly sources of energy. Saudi Arabia announces to slash its oil supplies to the global economy in a bid to prop up oil prices. The announcement comes at a marathon negotiation at an OPEC Plus meeting. And Djokovic, gunning for his 23rd Grand Slam title, advances into the quarterfinals of the French Open. Arina Sabalenka also through to the quarterfinals. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has held a telephone conversation with Speaker Devraj Khimire in a bid to remove the obstacles at the Parliament. Prime Minister Dahal called Speaker Khimire earlier this morning, seeking a solution to the obstacles seen at the House of Representatives. The Speaker's Secretariat has said that the obstructions should be cleared at the earliest to endorse the new budget. Prime Minister Dahal on his part said that he would address the problem. The opposition parties had obstructed the meeting of the House of Representatives yesterday, protesting against the recently authenticated citizenship bill and the remarks made by Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal during his recent visit to India. Due to the protest, meetings of both the houses were adjourned till 1 p.m. today. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: why does House session get frequently disrupted? Your options are A, due to monopoly of ruling parties, B, stubborn opposition, and C, regular process. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The citizenship bill that was authenticated by President Ramchandra Paudel at the recommendation of the Council of Ministers has been drawn into controversy. The citizenship bill, which was passed by the previous federal parliament and halted by the then President Vidya Devi Bhandari 9 months ago, was authenticated by President Ramchandra Paudel on 31st of May at the recommendation of the Council of Ministers. After the citizenship bill was published in the National Gazette, preparations were being made by district administration offices to distribute citizenship certificates to the children of parents who are citizens by birth. The Ministry of Home Affairs, through SMS on Friday, had directed all the 77 district administration offices to distribute citizenship certificates as per new law. However, at a time when the district administration offices were making preparations to distribute citizenship certificates, the Supreme Court issued a short-term interim order yesterday not to implement the citizenship bill approved by the President. A single bench of Supreme Court Justice Manoj Sharma issued the short-term verdict not to implement the citizenship bill authenticated by President Paudel last Wednesday. People who had reached the Dhanusha District Administration Office to get their citizenship certificate with the recommendation from the ward office were furious when they heard about the Supreme Court's short-term interim order. Likewise, in Kathmandu District Administration Office, 12 applications for citizenship certificate were registered yesterday. However, the process was not moved forward, citing lack of regulation. The pre-detention hearing of the defendants in the fake Bhutanese refugee case is to continue today as well. Office of the Government Attorney yesterday had produced evidences against the alleged culprits. The two joint attorneys presented evidences against the defendants right at the start of the pre-detention trial that started from yesterday. Joint attorneys Mahesh Khatri and Janak Khimire pleaded against the defendants as they presented evidences against the alleged culprits. Joint attorney Khatri produced evidences regarding the involvement and the plan of the prime accused. Likewise, Khimire presented mobile messages between Secretary Teknarayan Pandey and alleged mastermind Keshav Dulal. Joint attorney Khimire also explained how the defendants needed to be investigated under organized crime. Likewise, the bank transaction details of Indrajit Rai, the security advisor of former Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa, were also presented during the court proceedings yesterday. Likewise, similar bank transaction details of Sandeep Raimachi, son of Tob Bahadur Raimachi, were also produced. The single bench of Justice Prem Kumar Nepani will give a verdict on whether to release the defendants on simple date, release on bail, or send them to custody. A case was filed by the Office of the Government Attorney on 24th of May, making 30 individuals as defendants, seeking a fine of just over 275 million rupees alongside sentencing. Most of the defendants have rejected the alleged charges levied against them. However, the government attorneys and investigation police officials have expressed their confidence regarding evidences to prove the involvement of the defendants. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. The World Environment Day is being celebrated today by organizing various awareness programs in the country. The day is celebrated annually on 5th of June since it was designated by the General Assembly of the United Nations. The World Environment Day this year is being celebrated with the theme focusing on solutions to plastic pollution under the campaign #BeatPlasticPollution. Data show that 400 billion tons of plastic is produced annually across the world. Plastic pollution has been adversely affecting the entire globe. The Constitution of Nepal has included clean environment as a fundamental right. However, it is far from being implemented. Rising pollution due to excessive exploitation of natural resources has been affecting social, financial, as well as cultural sectors. Climate change, a loss of biodiversity, and rising pollution that are caused by overbearing ambitions of human beings have become major challenges in recent times. Meanwhile, extending his greetings on the occasion of the World Environment Day today, President Ramchandra Paudel urged everyone to contribute in maintaining clean environment and creating a sustainable climate by conserving forest, water, herbs, agriculture, and all living beings that share the planet with us. Cleaning campaign has been conducted in Swayambhu area on the occasion of the World Environment Day today. The cleaning campaign in Swayambhu area has been conducted by Kung Fu nuns and Live to Love Nepal that have been actively working to maintain cleanliness and conserve religious and cultural heritages. More than 300 people participated in the cleaning campaign. Premises of various heritages have been cleaned under the campaign. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what should be done to completely end racial discrimination. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
जबसम्म सोच परिवर्तन हुँदैन तबसम्म जति जे गरे पनि यो जाति भेदभाव कहिले पनि जान्दैन।
सकारात्मक कुराहरूलाई भित्र्याउँदै नकारात्मक कुराहरूलाई चाहिँ त्यसलाई उन्मूलन गर्न सक्यो भने जाति भेदभावको अन्त्य गर्न सकिन्छ।
सोच परिवर्तन गर्नुपर्ने जरुरी देखिन्छ।
स्वास्थ्य गर्ने व्यक्तिलाई हदैदेखि जरिमाना र सामाजिक रूपमा पनि कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ।
संविधानमा उल्लेख भएका कानुनहरूलाई व्यवहारमा कार्यान्वयन गर्नुपर्ने मुख्य कुरा छ।
शिक्षा चाहिँ दिनु पर्यो।
समाजमा जुन रहेको रूढिवादी परम्परा छ त्यसलाई सदाको लागि अन्त्य गर्नु पर्यो।
जनचेतना बढाउँदै जाने
जनचेतनामूलक कार्यक्रमहरू सञ्चालन गर्नु पर्यो।
राज्यले अवलम्बन गरेका नीति तथा कार्यक्रमहरू पूर्ण रूपमा पालना भयो भने
Time now for international update. Saudi Arabia has announced that it would slash its oil supplies to the global economy in a bid to prop up prices. The move to slash supplies by 1 million barrels per day in July is extendable, said Riyadh. Members of the OPEC Plus grouping also agreed to extend cuts previously agreed in April until the end of next year. The announcement came after hours-long negotiations at an OPEC Plus meeting. The grouping of the 13-member organization of the petroleum exporting countries headed by Saudi Arabia and the group's 10 partners led by Russia. The meeting was closely watched as a tough one, with Russia seen as wanting to maintain production levels and Saudi Arabia seeking to push prices. OPEC Plus producers agreed in the meeting in Vienna to extend earlier production cuts through next year, while the Saudi decision to slash 1 million barrels per day was a unilateral step. Oil producers have suffered from falling prices and high market volatility in light of Russia's war in Ukraine. Russia, in a latest update on war, has claimed to have thwarted large-scale Ukraine attack. Russia has said its forces thwarted a major Ukrainian offensive in a Ukrainian region of Donetsk, killing 250 Ukrainian troops and destroying tanks and armored vehicles. The Russian Defense Ministry said Ukraine had launched the attack using 6 mechanized and 2 tank battalions. Ukraine has been preparing for a counteroffensive to take back territory occupied by Russia since it began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, as well as the Crimean Peninsula it seized in 2014. The ministry added that Russian Chief of the General Staff, Valery Gerasimov, was at one of the forward command posts at the time. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky made no mention of the alleged assault in his evening video address on Sunday night. He said earlier that Kyiv was ready to act. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Up next is the weather update. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good day.